Greetings and welcome to the channel. And today we're going to be looking at creating external tables in Bigquery. So please like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, reach out to me in the comments for any help and assistance that you may need. Also, a link to the lab will be posted in the video description. Let's get started. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and download the front end and back end app at these links, which will lead to downget. And what we're going to do is we're going to install the required dependencies, and we're going to run the front end and the back end, right? And now we're going to take a look at external tables. So what we mean by external tables is data that is outside of BigQuery. BigQuery is provided with the feature that you could query data that's not necessarily in a table. Say it could be a CSV, right? Say it could be a JSON file from cloud storage, right? From a third party resource, right? Even so, for a different type of data service that Google Cloud provides, like Bigtable, right? We're able to do this. We're able to have an external table, and we're still able to work with that data without downloading it into the BigQuery and dealing with the fuss associated with that. The thing is that you're still creating a table. So although this is a feature, right, what BigQuery intends is for you to load that data into BigQuery and use it there. Right, so first let us go ahead and set up that in our environment variable. And then also we want to go ahead and open as well. We want to open the front end environment as well. And just want to go ahead and edit like so. What we'll be doing in this front end environment is we just want to make sure that temp table is false so we don't actually populate the grid with some metadata. And now I want to copy and paste the code that will have us create a table when dealing with cloud storage. So at this point, we're dealing with Google Cloud Storage, and you can see according to the code, what we have is this is a Google Cloud Storage URL, right? And we're going to create a table with this configuration that will allow for that external query to take place, right? So what I'm going to go ahead and do in the front end is I'm going to type any table name. We're going to go ahead and create a new table here. Right, and we could see that we have the query like so, right? So I just want to notate, and I'm going to show you now that the result is not what ends up in the table. All the data actually ends up in the table, right? So if you actually go take a look, and I don't want to, I'm not sharing the table right now. We select star, go ahead and run like so. Concerning all the states, right? We get all the states, and basically that was what was in that CSV, right? So the results are not stored in that query table like we wish. It's the actual data itself, right? So now we want to do is we want to create a temporary table to say for our specific use cases, we wouldn't need that. What we want to go ahead and do is replace this property here, change that to true, and then head back to our Python backend, right? Make sure we update our environment like so. And definitely leave in the comments if there's like a more interesting way for you guys to update their environment, right? I could just say false and then true, but you really wouldn't know what you're looking at. So definitely for teaching purposes, definitely want to keep this to a switch case situation, right? So we go ahead and have the code here for our temp external variable, and all we need to do is, since that we have an external table, a temporary table that doesn't exist, we can hit submit like so, right? And a table should be provided for the table name shouldn't really matter, so the API provides that. What I definitely wanted to point out here was that when you're dealing with external data, right, you can also get this column, right? If you look at the code, it's actually this syntax right here. I just casted it so that it could look pretty in the UI. But this is definitely an interesting metacon that actually provides that data source of where that row actually came from, which is actually really nice. It's really nice, especially when you want to go ahead and combine those. But really, I believe this is one at a time, and BigQuery really doesn't intend for you to be using this, and which will definitely indicate with reaching out with the Drive, making external queries with Google Drive API. So with Google Drive, what we want to go ahead and do is we want to copy this code and we want to replace it. And instead of dealing with permissions and roles, we actually have scope to deal with. This is something very familiar. And when you see that an API is using scope instead of roles, right, you want to steer clear of that API, right? It's just Google's way to tell you really just to steer clear of the API, that we're going to go ahead and use it. And we want to talk about the issues we might face, right? For one, definitely the documentation is not straightforward on it, just another deterrent to really working with Google Drive in software projects. Right, so we're going to go ahead, update external query like so, right, and want to head back to external query, and now we should have restarted the server with the updated credentials that allow us to access the Drive API with those scopes. What we want to go ahead and do is now see our sheet URL now recurring a Google Sheets. As you can see here, the configurations and the comments try to ignore or paste out are configured like so. We can see that syntax that we have that selects a square in that sheet, and we're just going to go ahead and give another table name. Let's make it Jason. All right, and that's fine. I think what I forgot. Yeah, I knew it. Right, that environment. It was giving me an interesting array. But let me go ahead and submit again like so. Yeah, let me save it one more time. Right, and then we might have an error. But it's a table, but that's okay. But what I want to go ahead and show here is that we're selecting from the range A20 to B49, right, which is very interesting. So we kind of see that the ranges, if you want to select part of the external query, we don't do it from the SQL, right? We actually do it from the syntax of the external data source. So you can see here, right, we queried from column 20 to column 49, and I would think there's more, but for some reason was left out, but that's okay. We kind of see that what we need to do if you want to select part of that table of that external data, we want to go ahead and do is have that taken care of with the syntax of the external source, right? So if you have Google Sheets, could use that syntax. If there's a SQL, if there's like a PostgreSQL database involved, you want to use SQL. And I just want to go ahead and select all and just see what we get, if we still get 42 rows, if we get all the data back, or we just get a cutoff. Or so you can see here, we get that cutoff. So if you're ever interested in dealing with external data without downloading all that data, that is how you go about it. Right? And now the last part of the lab we want to go ahead and do is we want to create a temporary table. Right? So I have to update the lab, but we want that set to true. And then I want to head back over to the environment to copy and paste it like so. right? And now we're still dealing with the Google Drive API. And also, last but not least, we want to go ahead and paste our code, see if it's formatted properly, right? The indentations always have to watch out for. Right, and now our data like so. Right, so there's just a little demo lab of working with external data with BigQuery. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and reach out to me in the comments section for any help, any assistance. Also going to have social media links posted for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as a link to the lab in the video description. Thanks for watching.